Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to another Torah Vitamin via the podcast, My Take with Rosh Ya'acob. On this podcast, we normally talk about everyday issues, or we talk about questions that you all may have posed or videos y'all may have sent me, and we always base it off a Torah perspective. But on Shabbat, we only deal with the Torah, right? So today is, we're going to deal with a Torah portion called Parshat Chukat. And Chukat means the statue, right? Not a statue, but it's talking about a law, right? A ruling, a law, right? And this ruling of law is a mysterious one. But I want to bring out more of something that happened to our beloved teacher, Moshe Rabbeinu, because he experienced some great losses within this portion, where his whole family seemed to have disappeared right before his eyes. And we're going to deal with his mental state, right? A lot of times we don't really think about what people are going through. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Pastor. So we don't think about what people are going through when they go through stuff. And we're going to focus on that a little bit today. Because you never know what people are going through. You see people and they always seem to be so strong and so forth, but that don't mean that they are always strong, right? They just seem to be that way. Oh yeah, the studio disappeared for a minute. Anyway, I hate when it does that. So Shabbat Shalom to Morey Catriel. Thank you for being in the building. I appreciate you. Brother Morse from the next session. Thank you for reminding people to like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hold on, I'm going to put it up since Brother Morse is saying it right. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, Shabbat Shalom to our sister Natasha. Shabbat Shalom to you as well, Akoti. I appreciate you all. And I can't forget Heart for Serving. Always on there, always posting the links to let you guys know exactly how to link on to us. So if you want to see anything about how to get in contact with us, I'm going to get the times out and so forth. But if you want to see the links, all you got to do is look over there in the corner. Even if this is on a replay, you can open up the part for the chat and it'll show you the old chat and you'll see all of us talking. And at the very top, you'll see the links where you can click on or call in to correspond with us when we have our different services that we have. Big up to Zakane Scott. He did an excellent job today on WFBR. We also are affiliated with a congregation called Philadelphia Baptist Church. Don't let the name fool you. They are not a Baptist church, right? But they keep the Shabbat. They do a lot of things that they're doing. So they are doing all that stuff. So I would say chime in with them. Every Shabbat morning, they have a radio program that they pay for, that they let us be a part of. So always big up to them. 8:30 every Shabbat for WFBR. And Zakane Scott was on there today. He did an excellent job. He got a little happy at the end. I said, and I got him. I said, it was the very end. He started telling the story. I said, now you know how I did. Now you know what happened to me. I be trying to get off, and then all of a sudden I started telling stories. I said, let me tell a story. Let me do this. I said, now we know how I feel. Anyway, let's get into this. Hey, Shabbat Shalom to Minister Thomas in the building. And again, Heart for Sermon, always doing your thing. I appreciate you for all that you do. Let me see. So many of y'all see this symbol. What does this symbol mean to you? And we got a lot of different things, but we're going to learn at the end of this Torah vitamin today what this symbol means. So I just asked you guys, what did this symbol mean to you? You see this symbol, all right? Just want y'all to think about it. Y'all can put it in the chat, and go back and forth about what y'all think this symbol mean. But when we see this symbol, it's always on something medical, right? It gives you the idea this is dealing with medicine, this is dealing with something with the hospitals, this is dealing with something to heal or save you. And many of y'all might see this symbol, and y'all might say, well, where did this come from, and why are they doing this, and what is the point of this? We're going to get into that today. But in order to get into that today, the first thing we got to deal with is the tragedy that fell upon Moshe and Aharon, right? And you might say, well, what's this tragedy? All right, so Parshat Chukat starts off letting us know about the Chukat, the commandment, right? This is the one I told you was a mystery. Right? So Yahweh is speaking to Moshe and Aharon. So he's not just speaking to Moshe, but he's also speaking to Aharon, right? In his office as high priest. So this is letting them know that this is something that both of them ought to have an understanding of, and it's something that's supposed to keep happening. Zot Chukat, right? Zot Chukat. That's where we get the name from. Chukat. We always get the name of the portions from the portion, right? So we always get the name of the portion from the portion, right? So it says Zot Chukat, right? Let me see something. Okay, I can't mess with that. I was trying to do something. Anyway, Zot Chukat. No, y'all like, why he paused for a minute? I was trying to see something. Something's irritating me, but I'll try to fix it later. I forgot about fixing that. Anyway. This is the statue. Remember I told you Chukat means statue, right? Not just stat, but statue is a law, right? Hold on. Let's get the English term of what a statue is. Hold on. Let's go to that. No. See, that's the first thing it takes you to is an image. We're not talking about an image. Thank you. Is a formal written law enacted by a legislative body. So this law is something that's going to be done by a legislative body, right? What law? The law of this red cow, this red heifer, right? Look at what it's going to say. Let's go back to it. Right. So it says, this is the statute of the Torah which Adonai commanded, saying, speak to Bnei Yisrael, that they shall take to you a red, perfect heifer or cow without blemish, upon which no yoke was laid. Right. So you're supposed to take this red heifer, this red cow, perfectly, completely red, all over, no spot, no blemish. What that remind you of? For the Brit Kadashah people in the building, what that remind you of? That should remind you of the type of congregation that the Mashiach is returning for. A congregation without a spot or blemish, right? No spot, no blemish, right? Look what it says. Give it to Elazar the HaKohen. He shall take it outside the camp. Now, only special offerings get taken outside the camp. Go back to YHWH, go back to Leviticus when it explains the different offerings. Only certain offerings go outside the camp. Those are offerings that are for the high priest. If he does something that he's not supposed to do, those are offerings for the congregation as a whole or the community as a whole if they're involved in something that they wasn't supposed to be in. So this is a very powerful offering that's being made up for a specific reason, right? And look what it says. So you're going to take it outside the camp. Eleazar is not going to slaughter it. Someone's going to slaughter it in his presence, right? Now notice it's talking about Eleazar, and you're going to say, why is that talking about in front of Aharon? It's not talking about in front of Aharon because they are skipping ahead. Even though this is said to Aharon, they're skipping ahead, and we're going to find out later why it's not being said to Aharon only. Why is it being said to Eleazar, right? Eleazar, the Kohen, shall take some of his blood with his finger and sprinkle it directly facing the Helma'ad. Some of his blood 7 times. So where he's at, he's going to take the blood, he's going to sprinkle it towards the Mishkan. And he's outside the camp. He's nowhere near the Mishkan, so he's pointing it in the direction of the Mishkan. Notice the focal point is the Mishkan, or is the tent of meeting, is the tabernacle, right? Just like when we pray, what we supposed to pray towards? The Mishkan. We're supposed to pray towards the temple. This was said by Shlomo when he gave up the prayer. And he said, no matter where they are, and they going through stuff and they're in exile, when they turn to this place and pray, hear them, right? He begged that the Almighty would hear them. Well, this is the same situation is going on here, even with this, right? So we see that's the center, right? So we're going to skip through this because I want to get to the part that I want to get to, because I don't want us to lose out on stuff. But it's talking about somebody dying, right? Because this is letting you know that you gotta cleanse your garments and so forth. You gotta bathe in what even a person who made it. That's what made it the mystery of the Chukat, because the person who made it, right? You made it. And you clean, but guess what? You become unclean. But it's something to use to clean somebody that is unclean. I'm gonna let y'all dig more into that. I just wanted to touch on that because that's what the portion starts off with, right? And it tells us how to use this water that cleanses you from and how to use these ashes of the red heifer. It tells you about having the hyssop and dipping it into the water. And he sprinkle it on these areas and so forth. But then that person who sprinkle it becomes unclean. So just handling it makes you unclean. And now this is the part we want to get to. This is the part we want to get to, right? It says, Vayavo Bnei Yisrael ka'adat midbar sin, right? And the entire community of Bnei Yisrael came to the wilderness of Sin in the first of the month, B'Chadesh Harashon, The people settled in Kadesh, and Miriam died and was buried there. Now, the next words read, right after it says Miriam died and was buried there, there was no water for the community, and they assembled against Moshe and Aharon. Now, I want you to think about this. This is where it starts to come up to play, where we get to see this. Now, Miriam passes. I'm gonna take myself out of this so y'all can see this more clear. Right? So Miriam passes away and is buried. You would think that this would be the scene that we would see. Right? Miriam passes away. And you would think the next verse would say the people stopped and mourned for her 30 days and they remembered Miriam and they did all this stuff for Miriam, but it does not say that at all. Remember, Miriam was an intricate part of everything that took place. If it wasn't for Miriam, according to the sages, it would be no Moshe, because the parents decided that they weren't going to have relations with each other, and they separated from each other because the Pharaoh had such a harsh ruling about killing the children. And they said, like a lot of people say, I don't want to bring my child in a world like this, right? So this is what happened. But Miriam was the one that said, y'all worse than Pharaoh, because y'all not even giving a child a chance, and maybe something is going to happen. And Miriam became a prophetess because she prophesied, according to the sages, what Moshe was going to do, that he was going to be the one to deliver them. So, I hate when I can't get the words up. So, looking back at it, right? If it wouldn't have been a Miriam, it wouldn't have been a Moshe, and it wouldn't have been a deliverance. That's what you think about that. Sometimes we think about, what if I did this different? What if I did that different, right? And then you look at your life and you got to think, okay, well, if I did any of these things differently, the life that I got now, I wouldn't have had. So if your life is doing good, but you had some bad times in your past that happened here and there, those things help foster what you was going to do next so that your life is good. So I say all things work together. That's why the scriptures say that. All things work together, the good and the bad. All things. Thank you. You know me so well. Thanks, Moray. I was like, what's the daggone word? I'm like, you know what? Let's keep it moving. But think about that. Think about that. Right? I had some horrible things happen as I grew up, and I always sit back and regret this. I should have did that. I should have did this. But then when I think about it, say, if I would have did those things, would I be right here, right now, doing what I'm doing? Would I even be in the Torah? What would I be doing? Right? Miriam stepped up. And then the scripture says a son of Levi, talks about the son of Levi coming and marrying the daughter of Levi, and then Moshe is born. And it said that's why the scripture talks about them coming together, because they were separate, because they did not want to have any more children. The way the first, and that's how it makes sense, because you'll think to yourself as you read it, like, wait a minute. They already had Miriam and Aharon. So we know they was already together. Why does it say they came together and had Moshe? Because they had separated themselves, right? But instead of it being this type of thing where you would see, oh man, they really here, right? This is what took place. The people went on with everyday life. Think about that. These people you gave up everything for. Because the Almighty said, do this and do that. And you've been traveling in this wilderness with them for 40 years. Not because of you, but because of them. And your sister died, and there's no mourning. Everybody's going over everyday life like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. Just going on with everyday life. But then this next part gets us, right? Look at what it says. I want y'all to say it in a text. I don't just want y'all to see me coming from here. I want y'all to say it in a text. Look at this. It says, let me go to this other one. Over there. It says, Miriam died there and was buried. It should have said, and the people mourned. It should have said, and the people mourned. It does not say that. What does it say? And there was no water. The sages teach that the water was on the merit of Miriam. The water that's been following them around for 40 years was on her merit. They was giving this water because of her. She passes, there is no water, and what's the first thing they do? They gathered against Moshe. Now, think about it. It's 40 years later. What's supposed to happen at the 40 years? All the people that murmured that night, remember it said this was a night of mourning. Remember I taught y'all about Tisha B'Av a couple of weeks ago? Tisha B'Av a couple of weeks ago, the night of mourning, the 9th of Av, where calamities seem to follow us throughout the ages. All those people perished. All of them are gone or leaving here at this moment. And Miriam dies. The water's gone. And these guys act just like their daggone parents and grandparents. Just like them. It's almost like deja vu. It's looking like, wow, they are their parents' children. Look at them. They didn't mourn for Miriam. They didn't say, Moshe, we sorry for your loss. Aharon, we sorry for your. They didn't do any of that. What did they do? The people gathered together against Moshe and Aharon. And the people contended with Moshe and spoke saying, if only we had died when our brethren died before Yahweh. Are you crazy? But this is us. We still do the same thing today. We come up with excuses not to do what the Father wants us to do. We still come up with ways to not do the things that He has for us to do. Now people say, if I was back there, I would have did this over there. You did the same thing they did because you do the same thing they do now. You did the same thing that they did because you do the same things now. Let's keep it a buck. Think about this. Look what it says. The people contended with Moshe, saying, if only we had died when our brethren died before Yahweh. Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahweh into this wilderness? Y'all don't know? Your parents ain't tell you? Y'all don't remember why y'all stuck in this wilderness? Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahweh into this wilderness that we and our animals should die here? And why have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us to this evil place? Now, they said this place is evil. Many of them weren't even born when they was in Egypt. Some was little kids and probably still was around, but many of them weren't even born. So how y'all know Egypt was this good place? How y'all know Egypt was this good place? Look what they said. I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, y'all wasn't even here. How y'all know it was a good, wonderful place? Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahweh into this wilderness that we and our animals should die here? And why have you made us come up out of Egypt? He made you come up out of Egypt. Didn't y'all want to get out of Egypt, out of that bondage? But no, he forcefully made you come out of Egypt to this evil place. It is not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates. And there's no water to drink. So that's the real problem. There's no water to drink. They say all that other stuff, throw all that other stuff in. Why? Because under their breath, like people do, you know, people complain about the governments. We all do that. We like, man, this government, what? Man, this should have did this, should have did that, do. Right? We all do that. Oh, man, look at this. They did the same thing with Moshe. Oh, man, he got us out here. All us supposed to die out here, but it's all good, though. You know, and the kids hear the parents saying this. So now when the kids get mad, the first thing they do is say what their parents say. It ain't been the school system. The kids start talking about politics, and I know they don't have a clue about politics, so I know they got it from their parents. They don't got a clue about politics. Same little kids failing, not doing jack they supposed to do, but then they know so much about politics. And you sitting back like, dude, you don't know nothing about no politics? So you got it from somebody, right? I know, time running out. I'm just give me 10 more minutes, people. 10 more minutes. See how I say when it start getting good? Give me 10 more minutes so we can get out of here, right? 10 more minutes. All right. So, I think I bit my tongue. See how I say when it start getting good? Give me 10 more minutes so we can get out of here, right? Uh-oh. Something is going on that shouldn't be happening. Let me see. Oh, okay. About to say something that's happening that should not be happening. All right. Anyway. So look at what happens, right? Let me call it. I do got it back on. Well, how about I say, let me cut that back on. All right, so these children are repeating the words of their parents, just like kids do today. Many of us even get our stance on politics and all that stuff from our parents. So Moshe's looking at them and he's like, wait a minute, you are your parents' children. Right? So Moshe like, what are we going to do? Right? So him and Aharon went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle meeting, and they fell on their faces, and the glory of Yahweh appeared to them. Right? The glory of Yahweh appeared to them. Then Yahweh spoke to Moshe, said, take the rod, you and your brother Aharon, gather the congregation together, speak to the rock. Right? He's telling Moshe, speak to the rock. Who normally the mouthpiece in out of this situation? Is always Aharon, right? And now he's telling Moshe, I want y'all both to gather them together. I want the people to see you speak to this rock before their eyes and watch them not hit the rock, not give a crazy speech at the beginning. Speak to the rock, right? Speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will yield its water. Thus you shall bring water for them out of the rock and give drink to the congregation and to their animals. Oh, snap, I just realized what I did. Oh, well. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so speak to the rock, right? So Moshe took the rod and from before Yahweh as he commanded him. So he took the rod, he gathered the people together, and Moshe gathered assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, now, hear now, you rebels, must we bring water for you out of this rock? Moshe lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod. Now, did he speak to the rock? No. He hit the rock. He spoke to the people, but he hit the rock. Moshe lifted his hands and struck the rock twice with his rod. And water came out abundantly, and the congregation and their animals drank. So to the people, they was oblivious. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff going on in the background. All right, hold on. Let me see. I don't know what's going on. It showed me a bunch of noise. Okay, let me see. I can't do nothing about Do you still hear all the noise? Oh, man. There should be no noise, nothing. Ain't no noise in here. I'm trying to see. Then if I do that, that's going to turn me down. All right, hold on. Because I really want y'all to get this. I don't want y'all to lose out on all of this. So, this is messing me up. This is going to irritate me. Is anybody else hear the noise? Because I don't got much time. I'm trying to hurry up and get out of here. I don't want to waste y'all time with y'all seeing me handle technical difficulties. Yeah, no. All right, I'm just going to have to deal with it, with the noise issue another time. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't hear no noise. Myself. But all right, so let me just go. All right, let me just speed through this then. Oh, you think it's because I'm moving around? That could be it. I'm gonna turn my mic down a little bit. Maybe my mic is too loud. Anyway, because I do not know why it's a noise. At first it was an echo, but the echo got handled, so I know what's going on with the echo, but I don't know why it's any other noise. There shouldn't be no other noise. But y'all know I'm a perfectionist, and I'm going to be irritated. But let's go on. I'm going to be irritated, but let's go on. Let me see. So what does Moshe do from there? Right? Because think about it. The people came fussing at Moshe about water. We want water. And why you did this? And you should have never brought us up out of there. We want water, right? So Moshe's going to stand before the people. Now think about this. Is Sister Miriam just passed. Sister Miriam just passed. And Moshe's going to stand before the people. This is really irritating now. Oh, now I'm just messing up just to mess up. Sister Miriam just passed. None of the people mourned, but now they got the audacity to be in his face demanding water. Now they got the audacity to be in his face demanding water. Where water? We need water. What about the water? You supposed to be giving us water, right? Now they got the audacity demanding water. So I'm just going to paraphrase instead of reading the text, because y'all can get it all on your own. I'm going to paraphrase instead of reading the text. So he goes on about the water. Come on, sirs. Okay, I'm going to fix all of these bugs for the next time. All right. Moshe said, must we give you water? Then I'm not even supposed to be showing that yet. Moshe said, you rebels, must we give you water? He hit the rock. They told you not going to enter in because you didn't sanctify me before the people. What he mean by you didn't sanctify me before the people? You didn't let them know that the Almighty is going to give them this water. You didn't let them know that you didn't speak to the rock as he told you to. You, in anger, raged out at. That's why we got that commandment saying, be angry, but sin not. You can be angry, but when you let that anger overtake you and you do things outside the will of the Almighty, that's sin, right? So he was angry, the people, he went through all this stuff, right? But what happened next? Let's go. So after he does all that, he's angry with the people and all that stuff. The next thing that happens is he told you not going to enter in. So they didn't enter in. And his brother died. Right? Aharon died. Now what does it say when Aharon died? It say the people mourned, right? That's why it's what you see the difference. When Miriam died, they went on with everything else. No, was no mourning. Only ones mourning Moshe and Aharon, but when Aharon died, the people mourned. But now Moshe lost 2 people behind this, behind these guys. And now it's behind these new guys. So guess what? When they got in trouble again for running their mouth and complaining, and the Almighty sent the plague of snakes out, Moshe was in the tent chilling. He was out there getting bit by snakes. Moshe didn't do like he normally did. I got to run and save them. He didn't run and save them. He said, hey, it is what it is. And they had to come to Moshe and say, please pray for us. Please, please, please. We learned our lesson, please. And that's when he prayed. And that's when the Almighty told him to take an image of a snake and put it on a pole. And whoever is bitten by this snake or these snakes, when they look at the pole, they will be healed. Whoever is bitten by the snakes, when they look at the pole, they will be healed. But I just want to show you the contrast of what happens. Because Moshe is dealing with some mental stress. I've been dealing with these people for 40 years. They gone. I'm thinking finally we going to be able to go in. I want to see the land. Aharon wants to see the land. And now they come just like their parents, putting us in danger of going into the land. And I'm mad. I'm like, I can't spend another few years out here because of y'all. So I'm like, y'all rebels. And I did not do what the Almighty wanted me to do. I hit the rock. I didn't sanctify his name. And what happened? Now, me and my brother told we not entering in, and I just buried them. And y'all still come out and complain. After all that, they still came out complaining. Still complaining. So he said, you know what? I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to sit here and let the Almighty deal with you. I don't know if y'all is young enough to know this movie called Crush Groove. But it was a movie called Crush Groove, and it was a scene on there where the guy, Russell Simmons, had wanted some money from his father. And he always was used to his father bailing him out. So he knew that he could get his father to bail him out because he owed this loan shark money, right? And the father told him, I think the Lord trying to tell you something. And I'm going to let him. Like, I'm not bailing you out this time. I'm going to let him talk to you this time because I'm always jumping in there saving the day. And this time, I can't save the day. There's nothing I can do. You guys are on your own. And that's when they woke up. And that's when they realized. And that's when they came and said, hey, we was wrong. Can you pray for us? Oh God, look at him. I'm thinking this is one of the last of one of the great rebellions, right? I think this is the last thing. This is when they realized he not gonna save us no more. I think this was when they realized he's fed up with us. Because as the people die, they probably like, wait, where Moshe at? Why he come out here and pray or did something? Wait a minute, we on our own. We're in trouble. He gonna let all us die. Right? They had to come and beg him, please. Please. All right, I know it got too good. All right, and I was trying to make up for the mishaps that was happening earlier. But anyway, if you came this far with me, then you should now know the answer to why we had a symbol in the medical world. Now, of course, the Israelites began to worship this symbol. So they had to get rid of it, right? They had to get rid of the staff. They really start praying to the staff and everything. Like, wait a minute, y'all going too far. This is not what the staff about. The one healing you is the Almighty. He just said, look at the staff where the snake at. As you look at it, you're going to be healed. Not pray to the snake on the staff, right? But this is where they get this idea of putting the snakes on the staff, showing medical. Now, I know there's going to be some people somewhere that's going to be arguing something else, and we can look at that later. But based off the Torah, this is where it came from. All right, so again, thank y'all for being here with me thus far. And we're going to have our artist of the week.
So I set my face to Yahuwah, Aluah, seeking by prayer and plea, with fasting, sackcloth, and ashes. I bowed on bended knee, and I prayed to Yahuwah, my Aluah, made confession and did say, oh Yahuwah, great and awesome, who keeps covenant to those who obey. We have transgressed, we have done crookedly, acted wicked in your sight. We have turned from your commands and refused to walk aright. We did not listen to your servants, the Nabim you did send, to speak to our kings and fathers might turn and mend.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So again, sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what was going on, but I'm definitely going to work on all of that for the future. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Queen Dashika. Nice to see you in the building, Akoti. All right, so we're about to end this out. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. But I appreciate you all. Again, you can look right up in there in the corner on the chat, and you will see listed up in the corner how you can connect to us. We do have Sabbath school this morning at 10:30. We do have at 1 o'clock our service, and then around 2 o'clock I will be the one speaking today. And we also do have Wednesday night Bible study. That's where we delve into the text. We really delve into it. If you guys from online want to chime in and be able to talk and communicate, we got the links on the side for you to link in and be a part of the conversation. Or if you just want to be a fly on the wall and listen in, you can do that as well. It don't cost you nothing to come to the Bible study. You just click on and you right there in the Bible study with us. You want to ask a question or what have you, you can. All right, so just appreciate all you all. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, and hopefully this Torah vitamin gave you something to help you want to know more about the Torah. With that being said and done, I bid you all farewell and Shabbat Shalom.